All right, chapter 2. Show what you can do. Intro, dance, video, go. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Now we're pumped up for a show what you can do. All right, here we go. I'm Mr. Goldman. You are looking live at chapter 2, show what you can do. Use the number line or plus and minus tiles. I'm going to use plus and minus tiles for all of these. I have 1 negative, 4 positives, that makes 1 0 pair, and 3 positives. 6 negatives, plus 6 more negatives. I cannot make 0 pairs here because there's only negatives, and there are 12 negatives, so that's negative 12. 4 negatives, 8 positives, and 2 more negatives. 6 0 pairs, 2 left over, and they are positive, so my answer is positive. 5 negatives, 8 negatives. That's 13 negatives. Again, no 0 pairs because they're all negative, right? Okay. Simplify. Negative 26 and 12 plus 12. So it's 26 negatives, 12 positives. I can make 12 0 pairs, and I'm left with 14 negatives. Negative 3 plus 4 plus 6. This is the same as 3 negatives plus 10 positives, which is going to leave me with 7 after I make 3 0 pairs. 56 plus 17. Let's see if I can show this. This is like a 3rd grade math problem. It's funny, a couple of you, this is the only thing you missed on the entire test was 56 plus 17. 7 plus 6 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. Carry the 1. 7. 73. 7 plus negative 10 plus negative 3, that's the same as 7 plus 13 negatives. I'm going to leave 7 0 pairs, and I'm left with 6 negatives. More negatives than positives. More negatives than positives. So my answer is going to be negative. Hold up. 5/6 minus 11/12. Remember, we need a common denominator if we are going to subtract fractions. So 5/6 times 2 over 2, which is a giant 1. That equals 10/12. So instead of 5/6 minus 11/12, I'm going to put 10/12 minus 11/12, which equals not 1/12, but negative 1/12. A lot of you, a lot of you switched the order on this, and you made it 10 minus 11. Or if you use the common denominator of 72, you did 66 minus 60 instead of 60 minus 66. So the answer here is negative 1/12. Notice you can put the minus sign before the fraction, or up here you could have technically put it at the 12 too, as long as just one of them was negative. 2/5 plus 9/15. Well, 2/5, again, we need a common denominator of 15 in this case. And my giant 1 is 6/15. So instead of 2/5, I'm going to write 6/15 plus 9/15, which gives me 15/15, which is just 1. Again, you could have used a different denominator, common denominator, but you should have, some people use 75. You still would have gotten 75 over 75. This is probably the most common mistake on the whole test. All right, now we're going to multiply fractions. For multiplying fractions, we do not need to find a common denominator. We're just multiplying across. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 7 is 28. 15 28ths. Show this a couple ways. First, we can do 5 times 3 is 15. 12 times 5 is 60. 15 60ths. And then I can simplify. 15 goes into 60 4 times, and 15 goes into 15 once. Or if we remember cross simplification, we can, the 5 divided by 5 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1, so those become 1s. Then I can simplify 3 divided by 3 is 1, 12 divided by 3 is 4. And I get my answer that way. Either way works. Probably second most common mistake was this problem. Remember, when we multiply mixed numbers, we need to find an improper fraction. So we do 6 times 1, which is 6, plus 5 is 11. So that becomes 11 sixths times 7 eighths, which is 77 over 48. And you could have left it just like that. Or you could have written it as 1 and 29/48. Draw an area model to show. Let's see, let's get a different pen here. So if I have my unit rectangle here, first I'm going to show 2/3. And then the other way, I'm going to cut it into fifths, and I'm going to shade 3 of those. All right. You'll notice that these 6 squares are double shaded. So my answer is going to be 6/15, right? Which I could then simplify, and you'll see if showing this over here, 2/3 times 3/5. We can cancel these 3's out. They become 1's, and our simplified answer is just 2/5. All right, a lot of people just left this as 6/15, which is okay. Ask you for an area model, which specifically shows 6/15, but we could always simplify. All right. Convert to a decimal using long division. 1/4. 1 goes in the house. 4 goes out of the house. 4 goes into 1 0 times. The decimal goes straight up. A lot of people struggled with where the decimal goes. 4 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. My remainder is 2. Bring down the 0, and I have 20. 4 goes into 25 times with the remainder of 0. 0.25. Hopefully we all knew that one. 3/5. 3 goes in the house. 5 goes outside. 5 goes into 3 0 times. Bring the decimal up. 5 goes into 36 times with no remainder. So 3/5 equals 0.6. Lastly, 7/8. 7 goes inside the house. 8 goes outside. A couple of you mix this up. 8 goes into 7 0 times. Bring the decimal up. 8 goes into 78 times. 8 times 8 is 64. With the remainder of 6, bring the 0 down. We have 60. 8 goes into 67 times. 7 times 8 is not 54, but it's 56. A lot of you said 54 there. Remainder of 4, bring down the 0. 8 goes into 45 times with the remainder of 0. So 7/8 is 0.875 or 875 thousandths. Thank you for your patience, your diligence, your hard work, and for being such an attractive looking crowd. Woo!